All right, today we're laying out a clear step-by-step plan for anyone over 50 who's aiming for a seven-figure net worth. Now, this isn't about some trendy get-rich-quick scheme or chasing volatile fads. This is about applying the proven bedrock wisdom of the late, great Charlie Munger to your specific situation. So, if you feel like you're behind, if that clock feels like it's ticking louder than ever, well then this explainer is exactly for you. So let's kick things off with this famously blunt quote from Charlie Munger himself. You know, he was never one to sugarcoat the truth. Now, for a 25-year-old hearing this, it sounds like a massive challenge, right? It's a mountain they've got to climb, but they've got time on their side. The path is long, but hey, the horizon is way out there. It's really a call to arms for a young person just starting their journey. But what happens if you're over 50? Man, that quote, it doesn't land the same way, does it? It might not feel like an inspiring challenge. It can feel like a judgment, a punch in the gut, a stark reminder of a milestone that just feels frustratingly out of reach after you've been working for decades. You might look at your savings and feel like that window of opportunity, the one that was wide open in your youth, has just been slammed shut. I want you to stop that thought right there. Because if you are over 50, the rules of the wealth building game haven't just changed for you, they have completely inverted. The slow and steady strategies that work great for a 30-year-old, right now they are poison for your portfolio. What we're going to lay out today is a precise, actionable plan to compress 30 years of wealth accumulation into just 10 or 15. This is not about skipping a few coffees. This is about a fundamental, strategic restructuring of your entire financial life. Before we jump in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and check out the links in the description if you're looking for a real estate agent in your market or you need life insurance. My team and I can help you anywhere nationwide. Okay, so here's the game plan for today. First, we're going to clearly define the unique problem facing the over 50 investor. Then, we'll introduce you to Munger's most powerful mental model, the principle of inversion. From there, we'll get into the details of how to build your aggressive savings engine, how to master the critical market psychology you need to see it through, and then, and this is key, we will give you an actionable 7-day battle plan to start immediately. Finally, we'll bring it all home and focus on the true goal of all this work, genuine freedom. All right. Let's dive into Section 1, the over 50 wealth problem. A lot of people see their 50s as the twilight of their financial journey, a time for winding down. But the reality is, it's this unique intersection of profound challenges and some really hidden opportunities. It's a blessing, a curse, and an undeniable call to action all at the same time.
Look, you're probably feeling this, right? This quiet, persistent anxiety. And it's fueled by the headlines you see every single day. Healthcare costs are on this relentless upward march. The long-term stability of Social Security. Who knows? It's a constant political football. And the cost of living, from the gas pump to the grocery store, is just eating away at your purchasing power. But here is the crucial point that changes the entire equation. If you're 50 today, you are not old. Modern medicine and the actuarial tables suggest you could very well live to 90 or even 95. That means you potentially have a 40-year retirement to fund. That's a blessing of longevity for sure, but it's a blessing you have to prepare for financially.
So, faced with this daunting reality, most people fall into one of two predictable and equally destructive traps. On the left, you've got the safe route. This is the conventional wisdom you'll get from a lot of advisors who see your age and immediately default to capital preservation. They'll push you into low-yield bonds and cash, which pretty much guarantees that the silent thief of inflation will slowly but surely devour your savings. If you haven't hit your number yet, this supposedly safe route is actually the riskiest move you can possibly make. Then on the right, we have the panic route. This is that desperate swing for the fences, chasing speculative meme stocks, gambling on options, trying to hit a financial home run to make up for lost time. This is trying to be very intelligent, and it almost always ends in catastrophic, irreversible loss. And this is where Munger just hits the nail on the head. This quote brilliantly illustrates his core philosophy, and it's our way out of those two traps. The path to wealth is not paved with some genius insight or a once-in-a-lifetime stock pick. No, it's built by systematically and relentlessly avoiding common, catastrophic mistakes. The goal isn't to be the smartest person in the room. It's simply to be consistently not stupid. And that powerful idea is the foundation for this entire plan.
Okay, let's move to Section 2 and put that foundation into practice with Munger's principle of inversion. This is the first, and I mean the most critical mental shift you have to make. The goal is no longer to just figure out how to get rich. The primary initial goal is to stop doing all the things that guarantee you will end up poor.
So what is this inversion thing? It's actually super simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Instead of asking the forward-looking question, how can I build $1 million portfolio? You flip it, you invert it, you ask the opposite. What behaviors, what expenses, what decisions would absolutely guarantee I end up broke at age 80? Munger believed that if you could clearly identify all the paths to financial ruin and just choose not to walk down them, success would pretty much take care of itself. It's about rigorously removing the negatives, not just chasing the positives.
So, when we apply this inversion model to the finances of a typical 50-year-old, we find the things that are really sinking your ship aren't a lack of some side hustle or a missed stock pick. No, it's the big structural expenses. First, a mortgage on a house that is way too big for your current needs. You're paying to heat, cool, and insure empty bedrooms where your kids used to live. Second, that constant drain of car payments on new vehicles, which are rapidly depreciating assets. And third, and this is the most emotionally charged one, ongoing non-essential financial support for your adult children. These are the major leaks that are sinking the whole ship.
Let's put a hard number on this. Just look at that. $700. That's the average monthly payment for a new car in the United States right now. And a lot of households have two of them. That's $1,400 or more just flowing out of your financial life every single month into an asset that is guaranteed to be worth less tomorrow than it is today. It's a perfect example of a wealth-destroying habit just masquerading as a normal expense.
But here's the thing. The real cost of that car payment isn't the $700 itself. It's the opportunity cost. It's what that money could have been doing for you. So let's just imagine you take that same $700 a month, but instead of sending it to a lender, you divert it into a simple broad market index fund earning a historically conservative 7% average annual return over the next 15 years.
It turns into this. Nearly $250,000. That is the true staggering cost of that new car smell. A single, conscious decision to drive a reliable, paid-off vehicle instead of a new one is worth $225,000 to your future self. This isn't about being cheap. This is about understanding the powerful mathematics of your own freedom. And you can apply this exact same inversion logic to your housing. That 4-bedroom house where you raised a family, it may now be a huge, inefficient drain on your resources. By downsizing to a home that fits your current life, you could easily free up another $1,000 a month or more in mortgage, taxes, insurance, and utilities. So when you combine that with the car payment, you've just engineered $1,700 a month in newfound cash flow. Over 15 years, that's over $500,000 you have literally found just by cutting the financial fat. This is Munger's inversion in powerful practical action. And as we discuss housing, it's a perfect time to mention. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and check out the links in the description if you're looking for a real estate agent in your market or you need life insurance. My team and I can help you anywhere nationwide.
So at the end of the day, it really boils down to this one simple choice. And it's a choice that requires a massive ego check. Are you going to continue prioritizing looking rich today with the new car in the driveway and the oversized house to impress your neighbors? Or are you going to prioritize being free tomorrow with paid-off assets, true financial independence, and that profound peace of mind that comes with it? You cannot have both at this stage. You've got to choose one path.
Okay, once you've made that choice and stopped the massive financial bleeding through inversion, it's time to build. Let's move to Section 3, the aggressive savings engine. Munger had a deep appreciation for the boring parts of business and investing, because he knew that the boring, unsexy mathematics are where fortunes are quietly and reliably built.
Okay, now this is your secret weapon. The U.S. tax code contains a special provision written specifically for you. It's called the catch-up contribution. The government recognizes that people are behind on their retirement savings, so they created this powerful tool. The moment you turn 50, the amount of money you can contribute to your 401k on a tax-deferred basis skyrockets. You get to add an extra $7,500 on top of the standard limit, bringing your total potential tax-sheltered contribution to over $30,000 a year. This is a government-sanctioned backdoor to wealth acceleration, and you absolutely must use it.
Now, maximizing this contribution doesn't just add to your savings, it triggers what Munger famously called a Lollapalooza effect. This is a mental model for when multiple forces all push in the same direction at the same time. The result isn't just additive, where 1 + 1 = 2. No, the result becomes truly exponential, where 1 + 1 might equal 4. It's a perfect storm of wealth-building factors all working together.
And this shows you exactly how that effect works in your favor. Step 1. You contribute the maximum allowed, around $30,500, to your 401k. Step 2. That whole contribution is pre-tax, so it directly lowers your taxable income by that full amount. Step 3. Now if you're in a combined 30% federal and state tax bracket, you've just saved yourself about $9,000 that you would have otherwise sent to the government in taxes. But here's the crucial move. You do not spend that tax savings. You treat it as part of the plan. You reinvest it. You take that $9,000 and you use it to fund another investment vehicle, like a Roth IRA. Now look at the power of Step 5. You are now investing close to $40,000 a year,
But because of that massive tax shield, it only feels like a $21,000 reduction in your take-home pay. You are effectively buying $40,000 worth of future freedom for the price of $21,000 today. That is the Lollapalooza effect in action.
All right, let's put a face to these numbers. Meet Linda. At age 52, she finds herself starting from absolute zero after a difficult divorce wiped out her savings. She feels hopeless, right? Like the game is over. But instead of giving up, she adopts the Munger mindset. She earns a solid $85,000 a year, but she makes the hard, conscious choice to live on just $45,000. She ruthlessly implements that inversion principle. She drives her old car, moves to a smaller apartment, cuts all the frivolous spending. She then takes the massive resulting cash flow and executes the Lollapalooza strategy we just detailed, maxing her 401k and reinvesting the tax savings. And she doesn't try to pick hot stocks. She simply buys the entire market through a low-cost index fund and lets it grow. By age 65, just 13 years later, she is a millionaire. This is the power of brute force mathematics combined with aggressive short-term discipline.
Linda's story proves that the math is possible. But listen, saving and investing the money is only half the battle. You can do everything right on paper and still end up with nothing if you cannot control your own mind during periods of stress. So let's move to Section 4, Mastering Your Market Psychology. This is the secret sauce that makes the whole plan work.
Man, Munger never pulled his punches, did he? Read this quote carefully. The key word is equanimity. It means mental calmness, composure, evenness of temper, especially in a tough situation. He is stating, flat out, that massive market drops of 50% or more are not some remote possibility. They are a mathematical inevitability. They're the non-negotiable price of admission you have to pay for the superior long-term returns that stocks provide. If you panic and you sell your holdings when this happens, you are, in his blunt assessment, not fit for the game, and you deserve the mediocre results you will inevitably get. It's harsh, but it's true.
So how do you get that kind of calm? You stay in your lane. You operate strictly inside what Munger called your circle of competence. This requires brutal honesty with yourself. If your full-time job is not analyzing financial statements and competitive advantages for 40 hours a week, then picking individual stocks is outside your circle. If you don't have a crystal ball, then trying to predict market tops and bottoms is outside your circle. You know, in investing, the most sophisticated and intelligent move you can make is to humbly admit what you do not know. Therefore, your strategy should be simple. Buy all the great companies in the market through a low-cost total market index fund, and then practice the difficult but profitable art of waiting. And this right here, the cash wedge, this is the tool that lets you wait patiently. Think of it as your psychological sleep aid. This is simply 6 to 12 months of your essential living expenses held in something absolutely safe and liquid, like a high-yield savings account or short-term T-bills. The job of this money isn't to generate high returns, its job is just to be there. So when the market inevitably crashes by 30 or 40%, or you face an unexpected job loss or medical emergency, you are not forced to sell your stock portfolio at the absolute worst possible time to cover your bills. You just draw from your cash wedge instead. This single tool is what prevents a temporary paper loss from becoming a permanent, devastating real-world loss.
And the final piece of mastering your psychology is to get absolutely ruthless about costs. Munger hated high investment fees because they're like a silent thief in the night, just relentlessly destroying your wealth. A seemingly small 2% annual management fee, which is still common for a lot of actively managed mutual funds, can eat up over a quarter of your total potential returns over a 15-year period. That is hundreds of thousands of dollars transferred directly from your future retirement to Wall Street's bottom line. You have to focus on what you can control, and you can absolutely control your investment costs by sticking to low-cost index funds with expense ratios of just a few hundredths of a percent. All right, we've covered the why and the what. Now it is time for the how. Let's move to Section 5, your 7-day battle plan. Munger often said that knowledge that isn't put into practice is useless. Information without execution is just entertainment. So it's time to stop consuming and start doing. Here's your exact plan for the next week. Day 1 is the forensic audit. I want you to print out your last 3 months of bank and credit card statements, get a red pen, and be ruthless. Your mission is to find $500 to $1,000 in monthly financial sloppiness, unused subscriptions, mindless online shopping, dining out too much. It's in there. Find it and kill it. Day 2 is the catch-up phone call. You're going to contact your HR department. Use this exact phrase: I need to ensure I am contributing the absolute maximum amount allowed for someone over 50, including all catch-up provisions. Make it happen. Day 3 is the triple tax weapon. If you have a high-deductible health plan and you're eligible for a health savings account, you must max it out. Money goes in tax-free, it grows tax-free, and it comes out tax-free for medical expenses. It is the most powerful retirement account in existence. Day 4, the asset allocation check. You need growth. A simple, effective allocation like a 70-30 or 80-20 split between a total stock market index fund and a total bond market index fund is a solid, time-tested strategy. Day 5 is for addressing objections. If you have high-interest credit card debt, that is a financial emergency. Your plan has to address paying that off first. And you must have that hard conversation about college costs. Day 6 is to automate your discipline. Set up automatic transfers from your checking to your investment accounts for the day after your paycheck hits. Pay your future self first. And finally, Day 7, create your freedom number. That number is your estimated annual retirement expenses multiplied by 25. Write it on an index card and tape it to your bathroom mirror. Let it guide every single financial decision you make from now on.
Okay, let's just double-click on Day 5 for a second, because this is the big one. It's the one that trips everybody up. The decision between funding your child's college education and securing your own retirement. Now, of course, the desire to pay for their college comes from a place of deep love, but look at the hard reality. There are student loans, scholarships, and grants for college. There are absolutely zero loans for retirement. If you sacrifice your own financial future for their tuition, you run the very real risk of becoming a financial burden on them in your old age. The single greatest gift you can give your adult children is your own financial independence, so they never have to worry about taking care of you.
And this brings us to the bigger picture, the entire reason we're doing all this difficult but necessary work. Let's dive into our final section, Section 6. The true goal is freedom. We've talked a lot about numbers and strategies and accounts, but if we stop there, we miss the whole point. Money isn't the goal. Money is just the fuel.
This quote from Munger defines our destination perfectly. The goal isn't the flashy car or a bigger house. Those are the very things we're moving away from. The true goal is autonomy. It's dignity. It is that profound and quiet peace that comes from knowing you have enough, that you are not dependent on a job you may not love, on the shifting winds of the economy, or on the charity of others to live your life. That is the definition of true wealth.
So I want you to vividly imagine your life 10 years from today. There are 2 potential versions of that future, and the decision you make this week will determine which one you inhabit. In future 1, you let fear and inertia win. You do nothing. At age 60, you're still stressed about bills, still working because you have to, and that financial anxiety is worse than ever. In future 2, you take action. You follow the battle plan. You make the hard choices. At age 60, you have a substantial and growing nest egg. You have options. You can choose to work because you enjoy it, not because you're trapped. That second future is mathematically and practically available to you.
And this is Munger's final heavy truth. Most people get what they deserve. Now, that statement isn't meant to be cruel. It's meant to be empowering. It places the responsibility, and therefore the power, squarely on your shoulders. Your financial future is not a lottery ticket. It is a result. It is the sum total of the thousands of small, disciplined decisions you make starting today. You can't change the past, but you have absolute control over every single decision you make from this moment forward.
And so, that leaves us with this final, pivotal question. You have the roadmap. You understand the math. The only variable left in the equation is your will. Which future will you choose to build? The choice is yours, and if you need help executing the plan, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and check out the links in the description if you're looking for a real estate agent in your market or you need life insurance. My team and I can help you anywhere nationwide. Now I want to hear from you. In the comments below, answer this one specific question. What is the one stupid expense you are going to eliminate from your life this week to begin funding your future? Writing it down makes it real, and seeing others take action helps all of us stay accountable. Thank you for watching.